hello again, and many thanks for tuning back into our channel. We will discuss today's most recent and explosive events within the ongoing Daystar TV controversy. Jonathan and Susie Lamb first brought attention to what they perceived as cover-ups, carried out by their parents, Marcus and Joni, who passed away Lamb. Another significant development has occurred regarding this subject since then. At the outset, the issue is still receiving regular coverage from major media outlets and online platforms, and new details are being released frequently. Can you tell me the most shocking thing? Reports indicate that Netflix is considering making a documentary on the relationship between Jonathan and Susie. Conversely, this claim is encountering resistance from various quarters. Furthermore, YouTubers who have covered this story are currently facing threats of retaliation, including intimidation and smear campaigns. Thirdly, Melanie Contreras, a former insider at Daystar TV, was recently interviewed by Julie Roys of The Roys Report. While they were talking, Contreras spilled the beans on Marcus Lamb's long-running affair and the cover-up that followed. There needs to be a breakdown of all this. Someone who used to be active on Twitter recently spread the word that Jonathan and Susie Lamb had been contacted by Netflix, a big streaming service, about making a documentary about their parents' experiences and the accusations against them. A lot of people were excited, and a lot of people were angry about this news. Fun fact: despite Joni Lamb telling Susie Lamb that she has no platform other than the one she gave her and would take it away, the user stated, "Just so you know, even though the PR team at Daystar have stated that the story has lost all public interest, Jonathan and Susie Lamb had an encounter with a Netflix director and executive producer about filming their documentary within the last 3 days. Warm regards." Many people were quick to react after hearing the news. Advocates for Jonathan and Susie see this as a major win, arguing that the charges would get even more media attention and maybe even force the government to act. With Netflix's backing, a documentary about the alleged cover-up could get more attention, mainstream confirmation, and the chance that those responsible for the cover-up will face justice. However, doubters promptly disproved the assertion. A user who is believed to be linked to Rachel Lamb's troll account responded to the claim by saying, "Candy Chand, you know this isn't true." An independent production company with ties to Netflix might, in an ideal world, be looking into something, but that's just another one of your exaggerated claims meant to spark controversy. You also claim that Netflix tried to get in touch with Jonathan and Susie Lamb. Whether Netflix is involved directly or if this is an independent producer seeking a distribution deal with Netflix are questions that arise from this. As of right now, we don't know what the whole story is behind the Daystar controversy, but it's clear that major media outlets are giving it their full attention. Another twist has emerged in this drama, and it has to do with the anger directed at YouTubers who have covered the Daystar incident. One of the most outspoken critics, YouTuber Torn Curtain, recently came clean about the fact that he is the target of some powerful figures in the Christian media industry. The most recent video from Torn Curtain asserts, "I exposed the Daystar TV Joni Lamb Mafia, and now they are trying to expose me. It is no secret that I have been covering several high-profile scandals within the charismatic church, some of which include Daystar, Mike Bickle, Aisha PKC, Robert Morris, Gateway Church, and Rick Joyner, Morning Star Ministries. One church scandal followed another. In 2024, I felt an overwhelming need to do something, even though I hated having to report these stories. Evil must be exorcised from the church." Now, he claims, powerful people associated with Daystar are trying to bring him down. According to Torn Curtain, he and his colleagues have been harassed by an anonymous account on social media that he assumes is run by Rachel Lamb and backed by Daystar. Using his ministry name as a template, imposter accounts have spread false information about him. In an attempt to bring him to justice, personal information, including photographs taken decades ago, is being unearthed. Many people are trying to bring him and his associates down, including Ohio for Freedom and Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson. The stubborn Torn Curtain has said, "My evidence has been presented in public on several occasions. Despite these efforts, my relationship with the Lord and the church was severely neglected for 5 years. During that time, my divorce was finalized. Whole videos have been made by me on this subject. I have already let the public see all of my filth. During that period, I was not actively ministering. Nevertheless, these leaders faced grave accusations while they were still ministering, and a number of them have yet to convey remorse. Your plan to frighten me will fail miserably. Nothing good will come out of it." Another unexpected development is that Melanie Contreras, a former insider at Daystar TV, was interviewed by Julie Roys of the Roys Report. Melanie revealed disturbing new details about the years-long affair Marcus Lamb had and the subsequent cover-up that took place within the ministry while they were speaking. Melanie related the story of how her husband, who had been Daystar's head of IT, found out about Marcus Lamb's affair with a woman who worked at a network station. Since they were both breaking their marriage vows, Melanie and her husband were left to figure out how to handle these damning facts. Fred and Anna Kendall, founders of the Life Languages Ministry, were their spiritual guides, and they sought their advice as they sought direction. But Melanie says that instead of being punished for what she did, she was gaslighted and harassed. To get their marriage restored after Marcus's adultery, Joni and Marcus went to the Kendalls for marital therapy, but they were unlicensed and lacked any sort of professional certification. I had the chance to collaborate with them for a while, so I saw their immoral actions up close. After listening to other survivors' stories at the Restore conference, Melanie decided to speak out after keeping silent for a long time. She felt compelled to speak up so that she could help others heal from the trauma of spiritual and emotional abuse. Her story reveals a disturbing pattern of lying, abuse of power, and cover-ups that happened at Daystar, a controversial ministry that is still under scrutiny today. Finally, in another episode that clarified things, Melanie admitted that Fred and Anna Kendall were complicit in her marriage's demise and failed to save it. Instead of providing genuine treatment, Melanie claims that her husband learned to dominate and abuse her from the Kendalls. While under Fred Kendall's influence, her husband became more involved in psychological abuse, threatened her, and took charge of the family's finances. As Melanie watched, Fred Kendall used the same techniques to control his own wife, dictating her dinner menu and clothing choices. She went through a horrible ordeal, and when Fred got angry, he physically attacked her. Joni Lamb and other Daystar TV employees were informed of sensitive information during therapy sessions, which led to Melanie's dismissal from the ministry. She hopes that by sharing her story, others will be able to identify toxic spiritual environments and find ways to escape them, and that it will raise awareness about the abuse of religious authority. There's still so much more to come in the Daystar saga. If the documentary goes ahead, as planned by Netflix, it could bring even more attention to the scandal. Meanwhile, Christian media circles are becoming more opaque as the backlash against YouTubers covering these events continues to escalate. Daystar TV's web of deceit seems even more intricate than it already was, thanks to fresh insider information about Marcus Lamb's hidden life. Are you thinking about anything? Could Netflix make a documentary about the Daystar scandal without violating any rules? Is it a sign that the truth is finally emerging to light? That YouTubers who expose corruption are being tried to silence, or are they justified? Feel free to tell me what you think in the space provided below. Remember to pray and be vigilant at all times. God bless you until we meet again.